So we have actually a positive outlook on Europe after a very turbulent number of years with two major shocks. Disinflation is in train, inflation has come down, and we are still having very robust labor markets. So our forecast is indeed for a soft landing with consumption this year starting to be a driver. Inflation down, nominal wages increasing, real income increasing, and then with monetary policy action, policy rates coming down over the next year, investment kicking in. So our expectation is that on the monetary policy side, we see a decrease in policy rate starting in the middle of next year and ending probably in the third quarter of 2025.
The ECB's Christine Lagarde has been talking here at the IMF spring meetings, and she's spoken to our colleague as well. She's saying that the disinflationary process unfolding is going in line with expectations, bar a major shock, and the ECB will need to reduce rates. What could get in the way of that? Because we've seen a lot of geopolitics over the weekend. Should we be concerned still about a major shock?
There are always risks to the outlook. And so I think the decisions still need to be data dependent, and one needs to look at the totality of the picture. So what could go wrong? Let me start with labor markets just need to be right. They need to be robust, generate the wages in order to generate the right level of purchasing power, but not too much, because if they're too much, then we will have a problem on the inflation side again. On the geo-economic risks, they exist. I would point not only to the Middle East as a risk factor, but also to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which is still ongoing and poses risks in particular to Europe. And of course, the whole global constellation, which might have an impact on macroeconomic policy settings.
This is the bad type of shock that we're talking about, isn't it, when it comes to oil, because it's a tax on consumer and it's a tax on businesses. So how would Europe fare in the context of a higher oil price if it were to happen?
I think the first order of business is getting the soft landing and the recovery right. If you are faced with shocks, Europe has shown that they can react with regard to policy responses. On the impact of oil prices on Europe depends on how high they are, so it depends on how you would calibrate policies. So these are things which you need to be aware of, you need to be ready for, but policymakers know what to do about those.
But